Yo, what's up, guys? We're back. We're going to be doing another breakdown this week, and it's going to be for UFC Fight Night, Smith vs. Rakic, UFC Vegas 8, at the Apex Center once again. So make sure to comment, like, subscribe, support the channel, and hopefully we can keep making more money. Obviously, the Dana White Contender Series is tonight, so check that out. Check the plays that I gave here over and over at Odds HQ as well. But, getting right into it, Sean Brady versus Christian Aguilera, the first fight of the night. Sean Brady, he's lived up to the hype so far in his first two UFC fights. He's gotten 2 decision victories. He's looked good doing it. He's 12-0. And he's a couple wins away, in my opinion, from getting that jump into that top 10, top 15. He's a technical striker. He likes to walk guys down. He cuts off the cage well. Good feints. And he will switch stances. Solid, movement. And, he has nice low kicks. He will use the jab, the left hook, some 1-2s, overhands. And he'll attack some round kicks to the legs, the body, the head, but he doesn't really put a lot of power on his kicks. He kind of just uses his striking to push guys back, get inside. He really has a really nice counter left hook, though. He only has 3 knockouts because he does like to grapple predominantly more in his fights than strike, but undefeated, 12-0, good durability. And he's a black belt under Daniel Gracie in Jiu-Jitsu, and he likes to mix it up, primarily grapples, like I said. Pretty good singles, doubles, but really excels at getting takedowns in the clinch and just hanging and controlling guys in the clinch. He'll back guys up, and when he gets in on the body locks against the cage, he can just dump opponents easily, nice trips. He's good at shooting in on a double, driving his opponent to the cage, chain wrestling. He likes to get to half guard when he gets on top. Get crossbody, look for Kimuras, straight arm bars, and he will trap the wrist and land punches, body head. He will also, use that ground and pound to try to get guys to give their backs. And he only has 1 career rear naked choke, but he is good at controlling from that back position. Overall, he really isn't a big finisher. He cares more about control, position, and if the finish comes, he'll take it, but he only has 2 submissions. So the majority of his wins have came via decision. Good cardio. He can push hard, break guys as the fight goes on. And his opponent, Christian Aguilera, is kind of the opposite. He looked great in his UFC debut, doing what he usually does. He got Anthony Ivy out of there in the first round, which, like I said, that's been his thing throughout his career. That was Aguilera's 10th first-round knockout, 6th knockout in under 1 minute. He comes out hot early, kill or be killed. Out of his 20 fights, 14 have not gone past the first round. And I would say Aguilera is a decent guy, actually. He's a wrestle boxer. On the feet, he does have big one-shot power, good jab, good forward pressure, dangerous short hooks inside. And you'll look to counter with hooks, uppercuts, and he comes out very hard, looks to overwhelm and finish guys early with this power. He does throw some naked kicks that get countered, and he struggles moving backwards. He can be a bit of a defensive liability. He kind of relies on his chin and power too much. He can get stuck throwing one shot at a time, and when fighters push him backwards and throw in combination, he can get a little bit bewildered, look hittable. He holds his hands low, and he has a questionable chin. He has been knocked out 4 times, but he does have 11 himself, so you have to be very wary of that. And Aguilera is a powerhouse. You could see that in his grappling. He, has good timing on double legs, nice takedowns against the cage. And on top, he's more of a grinder. He'll get to half guard, side control, sit in dominant positions, just kind of ride guys out. When they try to stand up, he is good at using that wrestling ride position to keep them down. Decent back takes, but 0 submissions throughout his career, so you don't really have to worry about him locking in a sub. And he can get sloppy when trying to pass, and he can get swept. He can also get tired later in fights, get taken down himself. And off of his back, I've seen him dominated more than once. He does have decent get-ups against the cage, but guys who pass his guard kind of give him a lot of problems. And he's never been submitted, though, so he does have good submission defense. But he's a fighter who can kind of be winning the fight and slow down or make a mistake and lose. Sometimes he loses due to things that, are self-inflicted injuries like bad cardio or mental lapses, which you don't like to see that a lot. Sean Brady is, a guy that doesn't really have much of that. But, overall, he has solid grappling, okay cardio, big power. And with this fight, I think you definitely have to favor Brady. He's better everywhere. He's the younger, more durable fighter. Obviously, early on, Brady has to respect Aguilera's power. I expect him to try to get in on the clinch early, zap some of that explosiveness. On the feet, though, while Aguilera is very powerful and dangerous, he leaves a lot of openings. I think Brady actually has the cleaner striking, will start to piece him up as the fight goes on. Really devastating low kicks for Sean Brady. And Aguilera, he's a guy that likes to grapple as well. He likes to use his big shots to get in on takedowns, win decisions that way. And if he can't get you out early, then that's how he has to win, because he leaves too many openings on the feet. I actually think Brady's a superior grappler, so you should probably be able to get Aguilera out of there in the later rounds, in my opinion, even though he's not a finisher. I think Brady, 2-0 in the UFC, fighting a guy that's in his second fight. He probably wants to, make a statement, move up in the rankings. So I'm going to say Sean Brady gets a third-round submission victory here against Christian Aguilera or a TKO. It is tough to finish Aguilera, but I think he's going to be able to do it. So give me Sean Brady here. The line, I think it's a little bit wide, but I do think Sean Brady will get the win. The second fight of the night here, we got a women's fight, Emily Whitmire, Polyiana, Viana. Whitmire, she's going to be looking to bounce back. She had a rough outing versus Amanda Ribas in her last one. Got submitted in the second round. And I would say she is a more polished striker than Viana, though. She's a tall fighter, 4-inch height advantage. She likes to use a jab and straight right hand, and she keeps her punches straight. I do feel like that jab should cause Viana issues. Whitmire will throw the occasional round kick to the body, but I haven't seen her throw the front kick to the body too much, but I feel like she should try to use that in this fight and keep Viana on the outside. Viana comes in on straight lines. She could use it almost as a second jab, put money in the bank with the body shots, and she will throw some decent inside-outside leg kicks. She likes to throw a straight right to the body, or straight right to a body kick combination, but she does stand very tall, doesn't really have the quickest feet, and fighters can get inside on her, land over the top, and she doesn't really have big power either. She has been TKO'd one time, but it was just kind of because she got stuck in a position on the ground and couldn't get out of it. She's pretty durable overall, big physical for the division, and both of her losses have come at 125. She did look much better at 115 in her couple fights there. She's a wrestler, good fast entries on her clinch takedowns, good job of getting a strong body lock position, finding an angle, dumping an opponent, good control in the clinch, and her takedown defense is strong as well. Good at denying the clinch, disengaging, throwing knees, punches off the break. And she needs to try to make Viana pay whenever Viana tries to get in the clinch in this fight. I would say Emily's not very good off her back, though. She has improved a little bit throughout her career. She was able to survive some bad positions against Jillian Robertson and Amanda Ribas, but was eventually submitted in both those fights. On top, though, she uses her length to stand up, land shots outside opponent's guard. She has decent passing ability. She has good back takes, good arm triangles, and 2 submissions, and she has been submitted 2 times herself. But I feel like if she can get on top of Viana, she'll probably be safe here. If she's on bottom, then she's going to be in a little bit of trouble. But Polyiana Viana needs to put up her shut up here. She's lost 3 consecutive fights. On the feet, she likes to circle, use her reach, but her hands are not very good. She will throw the 1-2. She'll come forward with some straight punch combos. Her best weapon on the feet is definitely her left kick. Really nice left round kick to the body. She'll throw front kicks to the body. She doesn't really ever go high with her kicks. And the last time Viana fought a southpaw and J.J. Aldridge, she really struggled to defend that left hand. Viana, she holds her hands low, and she has her chin right in the air. She's gotten hit with some big shots, and in her last 2 fights, she just hasn't looked very good. She does have good heart. She has a good chin, and when she gets hit, she'll try to walk opponents down, get it back. But we did see her get dropped with a big right hand against Hannah Cifers. She does have 4 knockouts, but mostly on the ground. And she's a Jiu-Jitsu world champion at the blue belt level, I believe. Dangerous with submissions, and mostly from top position, though. And she isn't the best wrestler, so she does have some decent trips, judo throws in the clinch. She did hit a double leg and circle to the back against J.J. Aldridge. But, Viana was able to get a rear naked choke in her debut. But other than that, her Jiu-Jitsu has kind of been shut down. She's lost dominant positions when she's gotten on the back against JJ and Hannah Cifers. Those girls were able to control her inside of her full guard and deny the takedowns, or deny the submissions, land ground and pound. She will attack arm bars, she'll attack leg locks, has decent sweeps, and she has 6 submissions overall and finished all 10 of her pro wins. So that's something that I don't really like seeing in women's MMA, because she's finished all 10 of her wins 0-3 in decisions, and most women's fights don't get finished, man. So that's hard to pick a girl like that. Questionable cardio, slows down in the 3rd round, and she got a takedown in her last match against Veronica Macedo, who's also a low-level girl, and got submitted from bottom. So that wasn't good, and that was the first career submission loss for her. I just feel like Whitmire is the bigger girl here, even though her record's only 4-3 to 10-4. I think Whitmire's fought the better competition as well, and I think that on the feet she has, I think she's going to be able to just outstrike her with the jab, keep that distance. I think she'll be able to just use the boxing and try to kind of keep it in boxing range, but and just try to stay away from the kicks of Polly, because that's all she really has on the feet. And then on the ground, I think if she can be on top, Whitmire, she's going to have success, control. She could bank rounds that way, and she just needs to avoid getting submitted or getting swept, and she should win this fight. So I'm going to go with Emily Whitmire. I think she's a little better everywhere, a little better cardio. She's won decisions before, so I got to go with Whitmire here. Up next, we got a crazy fight here. Caceres taking on Giga Chikadze. So far, so good for Chikadze. He's 3-0 in the UFC. Bruce Leroy obviously won in there, got that upset win over Chase Hoopers last time out. But, we all know what it is. At least on the feet, I feel like Giga is going to have the advantage. I just don't see Bruce Leroy being able to outstrike a guy that was had over 50 wins in kickboxing, a great record. You could just tell he hits much harder, he throws faster, he has more snap in his shots. Caceres, never really known for having that much power, very flashy. And I think that flash, that movement, all that, craziness isn't going to work against a guy like Giga who has seen that before, who can do it himself a little bit better and has the basics down as well. So I think on the feet, I just think Giga will have the advantage there. Is Alex going to go to the grappling? I honestly believe, even though Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres is a guy that's been submitted so many times, he's known as being fairly low level on the ground, I really believe if he wants to go in here, grapple, get takedowns, he could do it and win the fight. But am I going to bank on that? I don't know. I feel like Bruce Leroy is probably going to come out here and strike with them like Brandon Davis. Maybe he will mix some takedowns early in the fight or late in the fight, or who knows. But I don't have a lot of interest in this fight, but I feel like Giga is going to be able to win a decision. Maybe even it's like a split decision with Alex wrestling one round and never going back to it. But yeah, this is like a shit show fight, but going with Giga here, I think he'll be able to win primarily a striking fight. In the next prelim, we got Zach Cummings taking on Alessio de Chirico. And Zach Cummings making his return to the octagon nearly a year and a half away. He was supposed to fight in April of 2020, but that event got canceled. And he is coming off the first loss he suffered at 185 pounds in the UFC. He lost a decision to Omari Akhmedov. He was 2-0 in the division prior to that, but I still feel as Cummings may be a little bit on the way out. He's 36 years old. And for Alessio de Chirico, he lost his last fight, but it was a competitive fight against Magomed Radov, who's up-and-comer, good striker. He's athletic, he can move, and de Chirico was able to close that distance, force a brawl, counter with his big shots, and make it a close competitive fight. But I'm going to be pretty quick on this one. I think both guys are solid, well-rounded fighters. Both are durable brawlers. They like to get in the pocket and trade. I would say Alessio is a bit of a better athlete, but Zach hits harder. Zach is more durable. I just think both these guys are going to get into a sloppy brawl. Alessio is going to be looking for that overhand right. Zach Cummings is going to be looking for the left hand, looking to maybe lock up a submission. This is a tough one to call, man. I feel like it's interesting. Southpaw for Cummings. They both are very low volume guys, counter striker guys that can grapple but don't really use their grappling too much offensively. Both guys have never been finished. Zach does get more finishes. I don't think they're going to be able to take each other down. This is a 50-50 fight if I've ever seen one. I really feel like it could go either way. I'm going to pick Zach Cummings by split decision. Maybe he's just a little bit more of a veteran, a little more dangerous. I'm going to go with Zach Cummings by decision, but this is one I could change by pick. If someone has a good read on it, gives me a good argument, I could change. But yeah, as of now, I'm going to go with Zach Cummings here. In this next one, we got Mallory Martin coming back, taking on Hannah Cifers. And Mallory Martin, she's looking for a different result than she had in her UFC debut. Obviously, in that fight, it didn't go her way. She got submitted by Viana. She's more of a wrestler, boxer type girl, and very confident in herself, young. She's training at Elevation Fight Team, a good camp. So, she's confident here. And Hannah Cifers, she's returning again, still in search of that first win in 2020. Cifers, she's already fought 3 times this year. She's been extremely active. This is going to be her 3rd fight in 3 months, but unfortunately for her, she's been finishing all 3 of those fights. She's 2-4 in the UFC, so I imagine her job is going to be on the line here. And looking at this fight, I see some people are trying to give a opportunity for Hannah Cifers to win the fight, but I think Mallory Martin could be an even bigger favorite than she is. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. Hannah Cifers has shown what she is at this point. Tough, scrappy, strong farm girl, limited skill set. Her striking is very basic, and while she looks like she hits kind of hard, her footwork to enter range sucks, and she's very small, short, so she doesn't land a lot. The best part of her game to me is when she can get top position, use her strength to control opponents, and that's how she's won a couple of her UFC fights. She's strong in the clinch, she's hard to take down, but when fighters shooting on her legs, which Martin does, she's not that good at defending those type of takedowns. And Martin on the feet, she's going to be bigger than her. Probably have the better hands as well. Martin has a good check left hook, good jab. I expect her to be able to take down Cifers. And off of Cifers off of her back just looks lost, man. I think Martin, she's good at passing guard. When she passes guard, she gets into dominant positions, throws hard, heavy ground and pound. She's not that bad of a fighter, man. She could finish fights. She's finished 3 of her 6 fights, 1 by submission, 2 TKOs on the ground. I think Martin could win a dominant decision here as well. I just don't see a ton of paths to victory for Cifers, if I'm being honest. She's fighting so often. It's not like we're going to see her improve, and I just think Martin has way better grappling on the feet. They both come forward, but I think Martin's more athletic, throws more volume. So I got to favor Mallory Martin here. I just think that she's the better fighter. Up next here, we got a middleweight fight, and man, no rest for the wicked for Impa Kasanganay. He's back in the octagon for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. He, earned his contract August 11th on the Dana White Contender Series. The same night, he already had a fight scheduled in the UFC. He's 26, he's 7-0, and he enters a slight favorite here. He's training out of Gym O in Gastonia, North Carolina, a gym that deserves a little bit of love, man. Scott Holtzman was unsuccessful in his bid to unseat Beneil Dariush, but John Salter, Joe Selecki got dominant wins last weekend. We saw Impa get that win, obviously, a couple weeks ago. We have Jamie Pickett fighting on the Contender Series on Tuesday. Also, Justine Kish and Brian Barberina have fights coming up. So that gym, there's been a lot of guys around Impa's weight, that have been training. Holtzman, Salter, Jamie Pickett, Brian Barberina, all those guys are around 170, 185. They're all training together. So he's definitely, been getting a lot of good work. And, Kasanganay has been, doing good on the Contender Series as well. He's not flashy, but he gets the job done, on the feet, come forward, pressure style, which is going to be pay dividends here against a guy like Maki, who Maki gives up the center of the cage and throws wild shots trying to look for knockouts, but not really super technical. And when he can go forward and guys kind of cover up, he will throw some long combinations. He's good at touching with the jab, going to the body, going back up to the head. But when guys go forward and push him backwards, he throws a lot of wild shots, unset up punches. He does have power, decent counter ability. But against a guy like Impa Kasanganay, who has good head movement, heavy low kicks, good jab, he attacks the body. He makes you pay for missing, by slipping and countering with combinations. He doesn't hit hard. I don't know if he doesn't hit hard, because it does look like guys react to his shots, but he has no knockouts in his career. But he's a smart fighter, he's a good grappler as well, good timing on double legs. In the clinch against the cage, he has great control there, good takedowns there as well. He'll chain wrestle, and when fighters try to stand up, he's good at mat returning them, hanging on them, controlling on them. He has good control on top. He'll pass guard and sit in the half guard, land some nice ground and pound. His composure and his cardio is very good for someone so young in his career. He only has 1 rear naked choke, and he's 5-0 in decisions, which I actually like to see that. He's been getting 5 rounds in the cage, and he's been doing well. And Maki's jumping back in, making a quick turnaround himself. He fought 3 days before Impa. He unfortunately wasn't as lucky as Impa. He lost via first round submission. He's gone 1-2 in the UFC so far. And Maki, like I said, he's a decent boxer. He has good hands. He when he's going backwards, he can be a little bit wild, just throw wild shots. But when he's going forward, he could put his shots together, throw nice combos. He has good cardio up at 185. You could see that because he was able to outlast Charles Byrd in a grappling heavy fight, reverse, get back up after he was taken down, survive some adversity, get the win there. So definitely has heavy hands as well. And his wrestling is pretty good also. He could defensively, his wrestling could be a lot better, but offensively, he could take you down, control you, take the back. He looks for submissions at times. But I think this is kind of a bad style matchup for Maki because Impa is very composed, and when he comes forward, Maki is going to be looking for wild shots. I think Impa is going to get the read on that very early, start to, kind of push him against the cage, control him, maybe even get some takedowns, be better with the counter-striking, go forward, control the distance, octagon control as well, boss the fight. And I see him winning the decision here. I just think that Impa is a little bit better than him. He's a good athlete. He's one of these African fighters as well. So, those guys are very durable. They have great mindsets. They don't stop. So that's something that I value as well, especially with Maki. He makes mistakes mentally. He was winning the fight on the feet with Darren Stewart, shot a takedown right into a guillotine, got submitted. We saw him look horrible against Callum Potter. 6 losses, questionable chin. So I just can't trust a guy like Maki Pitolo over a up-and-comer like Impa. Could he get the win? Could he, expose Impa a little bit, show that he's not ready for this UFC level? It's possible, but I think that Impa will get the win, get the job done, and defeat Maki Pitolo here. Moving on to the main card. Man, I feel like we've been waiting for this fight for a long time, and it just hasn't been able to materialize. Well, I guess we saw it one time, not really, but, kind of saw it. And Magomed and Ankalaev versus Yeon Cutelaba. And it's a good matchup. I mean, Magomed, he's won 4 fights in a row in the UFC. He probably is kind of upset he's getting this fight. I mean, he probably wanted a chance at a top 15 guy, but very athletic, southpaw, good jab to the body, nice low kicks, very nice straight left hand, good left hook, and he likes to throw a round kick to the body to a straight left right hook combination. Really nice jab, overhand right combo, and he has a really nice strong counter right, check left hook, counter left hook as well. He'll mix in some short uppercuts. His rear leg head kick is very fast, and he follows it with a laser beam straight left hand down the middle. He's a power kicker. I mean, whether it's to the legs, the body, to the head, he's throwing full power, and when he lands on you, you feel that kick. He landed a nasty counter left hook to a head kick combination, finished Marcin Prokhnio. In his last finish, he knocked out Dalton Champion with a front kick to the face. He can kind of, be a little bit flat-footed at times, and fighters can get inside on him a little bit, and his chin doesn't look the greatest, even though, I mean, it's hard to say that, but it's like, I've seen him look like he doesn't really like to get hit that much, but when he lets his shots go, he's fast. I feel hand and kick speed-wise, he's one of the fastest light heavyweights in the division. 6 knockouts, or 7 now. I mean, that last one, I don't really count it, but he has good durability. He's never been finished by strikes, and he's a good grappler as well. I mean, very strong in the clinch. He'll control guys against the fence. He'll, attack off the breaks with big punch combinations, big knees, good double legs. He'll lift and dump guys, good top control, really big ground and pound. But we have seen him kind of finished by Paul Craig with the triangle, kind of panicked in that one. And Craig was able to get a couple takedowns in that fight. But Ankalaev, 0 submissions. But he does have good cardio. He stays pretty composed in there. Should have the technical advantage everywhere, but Yeon Cutelaba is a beast. He's extremely aggressive. And, he earned that first round win over Khalil Roundtree. But then, obviously, in his last fight, he didn't really, he didn't really calculate it right. He went for the okie doke with the ref. The ref thought he was hurt and called the fight. But who knows how that one would have went down. It's going to be interesting to see what he does this time because I don't think he can come in with that same game plan again. But he does have 12 knockouts in the first round. Really nice 1-2. Really good overhand right. When he gets inside, he lets his hands go in combination. He'll throw big wide hooks, overhands, uppercuts. He'll attack the body. He'll throw oblique kicks, low kicks. He will even throw some nice roundhouse kicks to the body, to the head. And in his last fight, I will say he was staying lighter on his feet, throwing more kicks. He threw some front kicks up the middle, some question mark kicks, some round kicks. It was probably the most diverse his striking has ever been. He's also good at mixing in knees at the end of his combinations. He can kind of struggle to find his range at times, though, and get gun-shy when he gets countered. he can get a little bit wild, and then these guys start catching him as he's coming in. His volume goes down, his confidence goes down, his cardio goes down, and then they finish him. So, I mean, he did drop Glover Teixeira with the spinning back fist. He's hurt a lot of good guys. But he gasses out, man. He gets tired in fights. Obviously, all of his finishes are in the first round. But he did show some really good fight IQ against Khalil Roundtree. Took him down, smashed him on the feet or on the ground with elbows. He is a Greco-Roman wrestler, good in combat sambo, judo as well. And you could see that he's explosive with his double legs. He has takedowns in the clinch. In his fight with Jared Cannonier, he did land several doubles. And, his takedown defense is pretty good as well. We've seen him make guys pay for takedown attempts against the cage, like Ante Gulov. He defended all 7 of Glover Teixeira's takedown attempts. But once he was knocked down by Glover was able to easily take the back, get the submission. Cutelaba has been finished twice by submission. And he only has 2 submissions in his career, so he's not really a submission threat. But Ankalaev never submitted anyone. I would be surprised to see that here. It's it's the rematch. Last time I picked Ankalaev. The line is crazy. I mean, I feel like it should be way closer. But, I mean, Ankalaev is better everywhere. Better striking, better on the ground, more composed, better cardio. I just think Yeon obviously has that shock factor, the knockout factor. He's going to probably be pissed off coming in here looking for a quick kill. So, it's possible. I mean, Yeon could beat anyone early in the first round, but as the fight goes on, as the skills go on, I mean, I think you have to pick Magomed and Ankalaev as the pick and live with the results, whatever happens. So, my pick's going to be Magomed and Ankalaev, probably via finish in the second or third round or via decision. Up next, we got a fight I really like here. Ricardo Lamas taking on Bill Algeo. And Lamas, he's making his return. He's taken nearly a year and a half away from the cage. And he wants to erase the memory of his last fight. He got knocked out in the first round by Calvin Kattar. 38 years old, lost 3 of his last 4 fights. So a lot of people are, questioning if he should keep doing it. But he was originally scheduled to fight Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall pulled out with the injury. Now he's fighting Bill Algeo. And you got to give Lamas his props, man. Very well-rounded fighter, ton of high-level experience, ton of high-level finishes. He has good kickboxing skills, but his kicks are really effective. Really nice jab. He'll use the jab to put together his punching combinations. Good 1-2, good jab, left hook. He has really nice kicks. He'll attack early and often with low kicks. Good power on those kicks. He'll throw a left hook to the body to set up his low kicks as well. Very nice, tricky head kicks. He can throw head kicks with both legs. He can, just flick it up there or throw it with power. Good job of sneaking head kicks in mid-combination. And he also has a good point fighting style where he just touches you, lands, and out-volumes you. He has high volume. He has 5 knockouts, and when he hurts you, he's a big finisher, solid finisher. He has been finished 4 times via strikes, but those are against guys that are super elite heavy hitters. The Josh Emmett's, the Chad Mendez's, the Calvin Kattars. So, Lamas is a former D3 All-American wrestler, and if his striking isn't working, you'll attack relentlessly with takedowns. He prefers to get the takedowns against the cage. He has a good double leg, but a very good single. He'll attack with body locks. He'll take the back. He has good trips as well in the clinch. Strong ground and pound, very effective control, big elbows. Very dangerous with his jiu-jitsu, man. I mean, he has a nasty guillotine. He'll attack with a lot of rear naked chokes. Or not rear naked chokes, arm triangles. And, we've seen him submit guys like Charles Oliveira, like Cub Swanson, some black belts. If he gets on top of you, it's a problem for anybody. I mean, that's why his fight with Ryan Hall was very interesting, because, he has very strong control on top. He'll throw big elbows. He's always looking for submissions himself. And he's never been submitted. Strong cardio. He can work hard all 3 rounds. So I feel like Lamas is still has it, man. I mean, maybe he's a little bit lower on the totem pole than he was 4 or 5 years ago, but I still think he's a tough out. For Bill Algeo, he's getting the chance of a lifetime. Not only is he getting a short notice UFC fight, but the fight is against a well-known legend of the game. And Algeo's at a huge experience disadvantage here. I mean, he has 17 pro fights. Lamas has 16 fights in the UFC alone. And Algeo, he's 31 years old, so he's going to try to use that youth advantage to his advantage here. He's mobile, he's light on his feet, he's long, he's tall for the division. And he's going to have around a 3-inch height and reach advantage over Lamas. He likes to use a sideways stance, a lot of feints, herky-jerky movements. He'll switch stances, use a lot of kicks. He has nice low kicks. He'll throw a jab at times, but doesn't really throw out much. His boxing is not very good, but he'll try to land some pull counter straight punches. He'll trade some hooks inside. Algeo is much more dangerous with his legs, though. Nice knees, front knees up the middle, body, head. He'll mix in some flying knees, really fast round kicks, switch kicks, side kicks, spinning kicks, you name it. I mean, he throws a lot of different kick variations. He likes to start combinations with high kicks and combinations with spinning kicks. He's creative. He's not a bad striker. He has the range, but doesn't really hit very hard. And unless he can just land a flashy knee or kick, he's not going to finish you. His hands don't pack much power. Only 3 knockouts in 13 wins. Defensively, he's not good at all. I mean, he has his hands completely down. His chin is right in the air. When fighters throw punches against him, he likes to lean back to defend instead of moving his feet. Fighters can just tee off, land big combinations. In Algeo's fight with Brendan Loughnane on the Contender Series, I mean, he got outstruck rather easily. He got hurt multiple times. But he's tough. He's never been finished by strikes. And obviously, you know, he's flashy. And he's a solid grappler. I mean, he'll mix it up, look for takedowns. He's a black belt. Solid single leg takedown. He gets the cage. He'll control in the clinch, chain wrestle. He really likes that head and arm takedown. He'll land that right into the, Kasanganay position, go to work. And it's dangerous takedown, though, because guys could take your back. But I've seen Algeo hit it many times. On top, Algeo, he has fairly good control. He has good rear naked chokes, 6 submissions, 5 are rear nakeds. And he's been submitted twice, but those were early in his career. He hasn't been finished since 2014. His cardio isn't bad, and he did fight a couple weeks ago, so he should be in decent shape. But his cardio isn't great, I would say. He does slow down. He definitely doesn't have the same cardio that Lamas does. This is a huge step up for him, and we have to see if he could step up to the plate here. But I like my boy Rick Lamas, and I'm pretty confident he's going to get this one done. I see Lamas is better everywhere on the feet. He has to be careful of the weapons of Algeo, but the guys who finished Lamas, like I said, are the Caters, the Emmets, the Mendezes, Danny Castillo at 155 pounds. Algeo isn't known as a power guy. I think Lamas is going to have more power in his hands. I think he has more power in his kicks as well. And I think he could even maybe put Algeo out. I think he's a superior grappler also, a better black belt, better wrestler. I think he could get takedowns, control on top, get a submission, pound him out. I got Ricardo Lamas here. I think he's going to get it done, man. Up next here, we got a weird fight. Yeon Kim taking on Alexa Grasso. Grasso's moving up here to 125 finally. Yeon Kim is one of the bigger 135 or 125ers in the division. She missed weight her last fight. She's fought at 135, so she's going to have a significant size advantage here, 6-inch reach advantage. And that's why, I think this is kind of a trap fight a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't be trusting Alexa Grasso at minus 300 odds, man. I mean, they're going to be primarily boxing here in this fight. And Yeon Kim and her throw relatively the same amount of volume. They're both high volume. They're over 4.5 strikes landed per minute. But, there's going to be a big reach advantage for Kim. Who knows how the power is going to translate for Grasso, or if she's going to be able to take the shots at Kim. But Kim doesn't really hit too hard. She did get that nice finish with those knees to the body against Nadia Kassem in her last fight. But when you look at Yeon Kim's wins, they have been against the lowest of the low level in the UFC. I mean, Melinda Fabian, she beat Nadia Kassem in her last fight. And, when she's gotten that step up, she did have a competitive fight with Antonina Shevchenko, but she lost. She lost to Lucia Pudilova. And Alexa Grasso, I mean, she hasn't been as good as advertised in the UFC either. She's only been 3-3 after she entered the UFC undefeated. But she's fought, the higher level, the upper echelon, the top 10 former champions, and been competitive. So, you got to give Alexa the edge in terms of that. The striking, I do think Alexa has better striking. I think that, she has faster hands. She throws better combinations. So she should have the advantage on the feet. I just feel like there's some question marks, with how she's going to look at this weight, with the reach disadvantage here. Maybe Kim will be able to touch her up and make her a little bit hesitant. But overall, I feel like she's way faster than Kim, and that's going to be the difference, is the speed. So I think, she's just going to be able to land first, land more often. As far as the grappling goes, neither of these girls like to wrestle. Neither girl has any takedowns in the UFC. But Yeon Kim, from what I've seen from her grappling, it's not even close to the level of Alexa Grasso's. I've seen her get controlled on bottom by Antonina Shevchenko, controlled against the cage by Shevchenko. And Kim does like to press forward to control you against the clinch, use her size. So I could see her trying to do that here against Grasso. If I was Grasso's team, I would work on, inside trips, outside trips, clinch takedowns. And if you can get on top of this girl, I think you have a good chance of getting a submission even. So that could, really propel Alexa in this division. I mean, I feel like she's better everywhere. So I'm going to obviously pick Alexa here. I think she's going to get a decision victory, but it's just a weird fight. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it was a split decision, women's MMA, and it went to Kim, but I think Alexa should get the win here. Co-main event of the evening here, Robbie Lawler, Magny. Man, this is a weird matchup, short notice matchup. Magny getting a big chance here. I mean, obviously, Magny's been on a way better run here. He's won his last 2 in a row. Since he's came back, he's won 2 underdog wins. It looked pretty good, and Lawler, 3 straight losses. Looked, decent in the fight against Ben Askren, but the one against RDA, the one against Colby, he looked pretty terrible in those fights. And, man, I mean, I love Robbie Lawler, man. I always pick him in a lot of fights, and I don't like seeing him coming in here and fighting a guy like Magny and me thinking he's gonna lose, man. So, but yeah, I mean, when you're looking at the fight, it's like you watched Robbie's last fight with Colby. It was a lot of bobbing and weaving. Colby was able to pressure forward. Robbie obviously was a little bit dangerous early, throwing those wild shots, but now that he's older, I could tell his cardio doesn't last anymore, man, and he tries to fight in these bursts. He allows himself to get backed up and controlled against the cage and just give up big periods of inactivity. And I don't like this matchup for a guy like Robbie, man, because when you look at his fight with Colby and you look at his fight with RDA, what was their game plan? Pressure forward, pitter-pat from the outside, touch, use a lot of volume, jab the guy up from the outside, don't let him, load up on his power shots, and then clinch him against the cage, get takedowns, control on the ground, control him against the fence, and Robbie slowly gets, progressively more and more tired. His dangerous level on the feet in terms of him knocking you out starts to go lower and lower, and we've just seen in his last couple fights, even in his fight with Ben Askren, man, he had that big explosive start, but then Ben started taking over the fight, and his fight with RDA just didn't throw volume. His fight with Colby just didn't throw volume. You start to see that with older guys, man. They start to just not throw anymore. They don't throw strikes, and it's tough, man. I mean, the last time Robbie got a knockout was against Rory McDonald. Think about that. I mean, that was an incredible fight, amazing fight, right? That's arguably the best fight of all time, but that was in 2015, man. That was 5 years ago. So he hasn't gotten a knockout in that amount of time, and I don't see him winning a decision against a guy like Magny. I think Magny throws more volume than Robbie Lawler. He's going to be backing him up. He's going to be grappling, initiating the wrestling exchanges. I think that, he's just going to be the better guy in there. He's going to do more. I don't even know if he's going to be the better guy because I feel like Robbie is a better wrestler. I feel like he's a better striker, but I think he's just going to be the guy that's more active, doing more, better cardio, wants it more. And, I mean, unless you think Robbie is going to finish Magny, I mean, just look at the numbers, man. Neo is 16-1 in decisions. He's 9-0 in the UFC in decisions. And Robbie's 7-6 in decisions, man. So I'm going to pick Magny to win via decision. More volume, controlling the pace, backing up Robbie, touching him up with the jab, with the long shots. When Robbie throws big or he tries to create an explosion, I think Neo will duck under, clinch him up, get him against the cage, hold him. I think, I hope Robbie comes out here and proves me wrong, man. I hope Robbie comes out here and knocks him out stiff in the first round. He's throwing the leg kicks. He's looking real good, but I don't know. I mean, he is jumping in here on short notice. 3 losses in a row, 38 years old. Maybe you could take it 2 ways. Is he jumping in here because he wants to get paid and get his win bonus and say, peace? Or is he in there because he thinks he's like, I like this matchup versus Magny and I'm going to fuck him up. So, I don't know, but I'm going to pick Magny. I mean, I just think he's the guy that should get the victory here, even though I think if you set this matchup 3 or 4 years ago, man, it'd be like murder. But yeah, I'm going to go with Magny via decision. And up next we got Anthony Smith taking on Aleksandar Rakic. And man, Anthony Smith coming back real fast after that ass whooping at the hands of Glover Teixeira. Rakic, he's coming back for the first time after a loss. It's his UFC debut, or his MMA debut. He lost to Volkan via split decision his last time. Contested fight, a fight that a lot of people thought he won. But looking at this matchup, I mean, I think on the feet, Rakic, he has the advantage. He has more volume, more power. I actually think he blends his attacks with his punches and his kicks a little bit better. And I think his chin is better as well. Smith, he did take a lot of big shots, though, versus Glover Teixeira. He hasn't been finished very much recently. And we have seen Rakic drop by guys like Devin Clark, lower-level guys. So that's debatable, but, Rakic does have a lot of kickboxing experience. He's a big guy. He's going to be the bigger natural guy, or naturally bigger guy, in my opinion, frame-wise. Even though they're both 6'4", relatively, the same size. I mean, I don't think Rakic could make 185. On the feet, they both kind of do the same thing. They use that lead hand to gauge distance, look for straights, look for kicks, look for pull counters. Anthony Smith is a little more diverse on the inside with the elbows, with the knees. But I think that Rakic is faster. He has a little bit of a length advantage here. Smith is a little bit sharper. I mean, I think he throws straighter punches. But he obviously doesn't throw as much volume. And when he tried to up the volume in his last fight versus Glover Teixeira, he got very tired, gassed out. And when he gets hit, he likes to just go backwards, just stand up against the cage, just back up there. I just feel like on the feet that he's not going to be able to catch Rakic. If he doesn't catch Rakic with a big shot, I think he's going to get outstruck for 3 rounds or get knocked out, because I think Rakic is just a little bit, more fluid, throws more volume, a little faster, a little bigger. I think that, he takes it a little bit better too. And Anthony Smith takes a little bit to get started in fights. In his last fight, he started really fast, but obviously couldn't keep that pace, gassed out. So I think in this fight, it might be in the back of his head to start a little bit slower. In terms of the grappling, man, I mean, I'm impressed with Rakic's wrestling, the way that he level changes, his clinch takedowns, and his top control is very good. And he does a very good job of squaring his hips when guys try to throw up submissions from inside the full guard. He'll stay inside their guard, stay busy, stay safe, land big elbows, big punches. We saw that against Justin Ledet. And when he can start to see a weakness, like he can take you down, he'll do it over and over. He's a very smart guy. He's very confident still. He's not someone that just took a beat down. He might have lost, but it was a split decision that he probably thought he won. So I don't think he's losing too much confidence from that. Smith, I mean, I think for him to win is he needs to land a big shot, knock him out, or somehow get on top. But Rakic, he has 88% takedown defense. He's a strong guy, difficult to hold down if you can even get a takedown. And, he has some decent wrestling as well. And I think if he puts Smith on his back, Smith's jiu-jitsu isn't as good on bottom. I think that he will be able to control and win on top just by staying inside of his guard, staying safe. Smith is a little dangerous for bottom, but you just have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes he just lays there and doesn't really have any urgency to get back up. Rakic has some good ground and pound, so, man, I mean, Smith likes to get a lot of his wins as well. Like when you look at these guys, Volkan, Alexander Gustafsson, these guys gas out. They get tired, man. And then Anthony makes them quit, finds an opportunistic submission or position and gets the submission or the KO finish. Against a guy like Aleksandar Rakic, 3 rounds. I actually think 5 rounds maybe would have been a little bit better for Anthony to potentially get a win. 3 rounds, man. I think Rakic is gonna get a win here. I don't see him getting tired. I think he's the superior striker. I think he's the superior wrestler. And I think on top he could stay safe, control. I think on the feet he's going to out-volume him. I think he's going to hit harder, hurt Anthony Smith when he lands, back Anthony up. And, Anthony Smith coming back real soon after taking all that damage. What type of camp could he have had? It's not like he's going to come in here with improved skills. He's probably not going to come in here with improved cardio. He just got beat up 9 weeks ago badly, man. I mean, he should have at least taken a lot of time off. Even if he did go straight back to the gym, started getting hits again, I don't like that either. So, I mean, I just feel like Rakic should get it done, man. I think, like, he's a better fighter than Anthony Smith, bottom line. Anthony Smith has 15 losses for a reason. So, Rakic should be able to get the win, and I think he's going to dominate, get an easy win here. Whether it's a decision and he cruises or he finishes him, I just think Rakic is going to get it done. And there you have it, guys. That's the breakdown for this week. My parlay of the week is going to be Aleksandar Rakic and Mallory Martin. For my most confident pick, I'm going to say Ricardo Lamas. Ricardo Lamas gets it done. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.